Okay, thank you, and thank you all for being here. I'm setting my laser point. Okay. I want to start from the end actually, and just say a big thank you to all the educators. I feel this has been quite an interesting and different year, and what you all as educators from different subjects and different grades have been doing is just impressive, amazing. So thank you for really all your efforts this year. Okay, it's not moving. 1 second. Okay, perfect. Sorry. So we wanted to celebrate educators from our community, and we've been trying to do so with the CSD Educators Blog series. We wanted to give a platform to educators to share their experience with STEM education, and in particular structural science and their journey with the CSD. We wanted this also to be a space for educators to hear stories from the community, celebrate fellow educators, and be inspired. We have 7 blogs so far, and more are coming soon, so you can keep an eye on our blog page or on our social media. We also have, and for some reason it's not moving, sorry. Okay, sorry. We also have a CSD Educator YouTube playlist where we collected videos of education talks that we recorded during previous events. So you can find all of them together in a playlist now. And we will soon be adding talks from this user group meeting, subject, of course, to permission from the speakers. So in my talk today, I want to talk about the resources that we have at the CCDC for your teaching, the resources and events for training in the CSD, and our collaboration and community initiatives. Before starting, I wanted to show where you can find most of the resources I will be talking about today. And so you can go to the CCDC homepage and find the community tab. So most of the things we will be talking about is here. For example, the blog series will be under the blogs. In terms of resources instead, you need to go to training and educational resources, and it will bring you to this web page. We have resources in blue that can be used for teaching, and the last two are our outreach projects, and in yellow you can see the resources for learning about the CSD. I know that Samuel has already shown this slide earlier, so you're already familiar with this, but we'll see all of these in more detail. In terms of resources for your teaching, so using structural data in education, on our website we have a range of freely available teaching resources, including the teaching database, teaching modules, Decor, and home learning activities. Starting with the teaching database, it is a collection of structures from the CSD which have been selected with educators for education. It is a collection of over 750 structures which are freely available to download, and you can visualize and analyze them using the free version of Mercury, for example. And these structures have been carefully chosen to be representative and useful in the learning of different subjects like fundamental chemistry, symmetry, drug molecules, and metal organic frameworks. If you want to learn more about the creation of the teaching database, you can see this talk from Greg Ferenc. You can find this video on YouTube in the CSD Educator playlist or in the CSD 50 talks, because this was in celebration of the 50 years of the CSD. So now that we know a bit more about the teaching database, how can you access it? You can go back to the teaching and the training, in educational resources, and it is the first panel that appears. If you click on that, you will be brought to its web page where you can find more information, and you can find links from the different subjects to an access structure page where you can see all the structures. There is also an Excel file which is annotated with the information. To download the collection of the CF files, you need to go to another place in the website. You need to go to Support and Resources and select Downloads. And under CSD Educational Collection, you will see CSD Educational Collection CIFs. So you can find them from here. Another way to access it is from Mercury. So from the Mercury interface, you go to CSD Community Open Teaching Database. And you will see all the ref codes appearing on the side in the structure navigator. So now that we have the teaching database, how do we use it? I think many interesting ideas have been given in the previous talks from yesterday and today. So I will just say you can use it as it best fits your teaching and your students' learning style. And if you're looking for inspiration, I would suggest to see some of our teaching modules, some of which employ the teaching subset, or you can, again, check the CSD Educators blog and videos, or reach out to our educators in the community who are using the CSD in their teaching. And if you are using the CSD in your teaching or you're planning to start to, we would love to hear how you're using it and how it's impacting your students' learning. Another resource that we have available on our website is Decor. Decor stands for the Database of Educational Crystallographic Online Resources. You heard about Decor yesterday from Mike, who is the creator of Decor, and he then donated these resources to the CCDC in 2020. What is Decor? Decor is a collection of crystallography lectures from different authors, and they're made available free to use for other educators. The only thing you would need to do is to give credit to the original author. The collection consists of over 57 different resources, including slides, animation, practice exercises. We have added a couple of websites and some videos from YouTube channel. And if you also want to contribute and share your material with the community through Decor, please get in touch with us with our email. I also mentioned that we have our outreach activities, and among these you can find the periodic table of crystals. This is a community-led project which was started with the BCA and the NCS collaboration. We worked together with and the community to build a periodic table where each element was celebrated by crystals, and then we turned this we based on this periodic table. We use it as a base for a fun game of cards, the battle cards. So a game which was fun, but also a way to learn about elements and crystal. This activity is available from our website, but is also featured in the Southampton Science and Engineering Festival. You would need a printer to use the battle cards, and well, I personally don't have a printer, so I found really nice that it is also an Instagram filter. So if you or your students are using Instagram, you can use the battle card just going to our Instagram homepage, and you can find the filter and use it as it was demonstrated in the video. Another outreach activity is the CCDC home learning. And in normal times, we would do science festivals. And since last year, the science festivals were cancelled or went virtual, we transform our science festival activities into home learning resources. So the home learning is both for young learners to guide them to the discovery of the wonders of crystals. So we have a collection of different activities, and as I said, very home friendly, but we want them to be also school friendly. We have created handouts with step-by-step guide to the activities, guided discussions, and all the answer to the question asked, because we wanted to take into account that different activity leaders might have different backgrounds and definitely probably different from our experts at the CCDC. And you can find these and more activities. So these activities are currently available on our website. We will have these and more featuring in the upcoming Cambridge Festival, which is completely virtual starting the 26th of March. So this was an overview of the resources that we have on our website for your teaching. We are going to move now to events and material for training in the CSD that you can use or you can suggest to your students. So first, it's in-person training, but virtual. So we had last November, we had our first CCDC virtual workshop series, and we wanted to provide some hands-on learning on the CSD, even in a virtual context. We had a session on searching with Conquest, one on visualizing with Mercury, and one on the aromatic analyzer tool. We had a simple format, which was well received by the attendees of the sessions. And the first part was a show on part. So where we would show on slide and with a live demo how the some of the features and examples that we wanted to present in that session. When we would move on to a try one part, where the attendees would go and do an exercise by themselves, so they would actually try hands-on that features. And for all this time, the CCDC experts would be on hand to answer questions, provide more examples, and support. And then we would conclude the session with an explore more part, which could include more examples or a challenge and a fun quiz to see how the session went, of course, in a fun way, not in a teaching way. Well, serious way. Anyway, we also had the opportunity to attend crystallography schools. So we delivered CSD training at the Extec Lab in Benin and at the third LACA school in Mexico that Graciela mentioned earlier. And thanks to the collaboration with the schools and to the virtual workshops, we saw registration and attendees really from all over the world. We were very happy to be able to meet our community around the world. And if you want to train with us, the next series of the virtual workshops is coming up in April. So you still have time to register for this session, and you can find the registration link and more information of each of the free sessions at the link below. Okay, so if you won't have the chance to join us this time, or you want to learn other features of the CSD, we also have, of course, on-demand resources. In particular, we have self-guided workshop and videos. So here, sorry, we are in the same training and educational resources page that we saw before. And if you click on the self-guided workshop page, this is where it brings you. In this page, we have panels where the workshops are divided by topics. And from here, you can access each page with the list of workshops. Some new features, we have a new template for the workshop. And in particular, we have better highlighted the objectives of each workshop, the entry requirement, and the next steps. So we want to help the users to shape their own journey with the CSD. We also have a feedback form where once you've done a self-guided workshop, you can let us know your thoughts about it. And this is important because we periodically review and update our workshop. Last year, we reviewed over 50% of the already existing workshops and added 6 new workshops. So we now have over 30 workshops on our website. We've also been working on videos. I think our YouTube channel has over 90 videos, of which 30 are about our software. And last year we added, I think, roughly 10 new videos, 9 how-to videos and 1 educational video. On our webpage, you can find the latest videos and also the link to our YouTube and LabVIEW channels. We're also using social media for providing weekly tips on some features of our software. We started the series CSD Top Tip Tuesday on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and LinkedIn. So every week you can find a tip from our software. And here's a question. Do you have a tip about any of the CSD portfolio features that you would like to share? I think it's quite useful also to know what you have learned recently or what you think would be useful for others in the community. So this was the second part, so training in the CSD. And I will now move to the third part of my presentation, collaborations and community initiatives. So the first one I like to mention is the FAIR program. You've already heard about it in Samuel's and Graciela's presentations. And FAIR stands for Frank Allen International Research and Education. And with this program, we want to support academic research and education in developing countries through the advanced use of the CSD. It is a 3-year award, which covers all of our data and software. I think I don't have the time to go more in detail today, but if you're looking for more information about the program, you can go from the homepage, Community FAIR Program. And here in the dedicated webpage, you can find more information and also some frequently asked questions. You can also find links to see the eligible countries, which are represented on this map, the FAIR publications, so we update the list of publication by the FAIR users, and you can also find the links to the application form, which is now completely online. The next is the CCDC sponsor PhD. We are currently sponsoring 17 students in 10 locations across the UK, but we are open to all, so we would love to see this as a world map. If you want to learn more about our PhD students and how to submit for a PhD sponsorship, you can go to from the homepage, Research and Consultancy, CCDC Research, and from there the information you're looking for are under PhD proposal process and sponsor PhD students. If you want to hear directly from the PhD students, then the Science Day, where they will present their work, is coming soon in May, so 26th of May. You can register from the events link that we shared earlier. We also like working closely with the community. We host sabbaticals, placement, and emeritus fellows. I am aware I'm already over time, so I really don't have the time to go through this slide in detail, but there's really been like lots of involvement and contribution for these projects. So in this talk, I covered some of the resources that we have available on our website for your teaching, including the teaching subset, the teaching modules, Decor, and our outreach material. We covered some of the events and material, what we have for training in the CSD, for example, the virtual workshops, the training resources that we have on the website, and our social media series. And I presented some of our collaboration and community initiatives, such as the FAIR program, the PhD sponsorships, and sabbatical placement and collaborations. Even though I went a bit fast, I'm sorry, I'm over time. And these are a don't miss slide, just a reminder that you can follow us on social media for all the news and our series. And you can register for an education and outreach dedicated newsletter from the Educational Resources webpage. So you will find a link from that page. And yes, don't forget to sign up also for the virtual workshops if you want to learn more with us. And this brings me to the thank you. Thank you, of course, to all of the CCDC staff, without whose work and contribution we couldn't do. And thank you to the CSD educators who share their stories and experience, to all of the educators who keep collaborating with us and inspiring us. A special mention to Mike for the Decor project and to Greg for the contribution that he gave during his recent sabbatical, and also for this animation that you're seeing. And of course, to all of you for your attention. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ilaria, for a great journey through the resources, education and outreach resources at CCDC. Has anyone got any questions for Ilaria? And again, if you do have any questions, then feel free to post them in the chat or put your camera on and ask us verbally. I think Greg's given a top tip. So when using desktop tools, you can find a GCD file of teaching subset from your own directory where you've installed Mercury, and you can use that as a filter in Conquest.
Fantastic.